What if the most dangerous document in history is a map of a place that shouldn't exist yet? In the archivist's vault in Vale Therion, there exists a single map attributed to Elindra Voss, the greatest cartographer of the Second Age, who died in the year 412 of that reckoning. The map charts a landmass called the Varith Shelf, a continent-sized territory with named bays, river mouths, and mountain ranges. No explorer confirmed its existence until the year 614, 2 centuries after Voss was dead. The official record of Vale Therion states that the Varith Shelf was discovered by the navigator Cael Dorn in 614 during the Third Expansion. That date is carved into the foundation stone at Port Varith itself. When the archivist scholars placed Voss's map beside Dorn's 614 survey, the match wasn't approximate, it was exact. Every inlet, every headland, every offshore reef matched to within the margin of a skilled hand's width. 3 explanations have been proposed across the centuries. First, Voss was a fraud, and the map was forged after 614. Second, she received intelligence from a secret expedition. Third, and most unsettling, the map is genuine, and something else entirely is true. The fraud theory collapsed when the archivist's conservators dated the parchment through its oxidation patterns and the mineral composition of the ink. The materials are unambiguously Second Age, pre-412. The map is not a forgery. The secret expedition theory fared no better. Every Second Age maritime log in the archivist's collection has been cross-referenced. Not one voyage record extends beyond the Thornwall Current, the natural barrier that blocked access to Varith until 601. Which leaves the third explanation. To understand it, you need to know something the official histories of Vale Therion have never publicly acknowledged: that the Second Age did not end naturally. It was ended deliberately. In the year 409, 3 years before Voss's recorded death, the Conclave of Thrones issued the Varith Suppression Decree. The document exists. The archivist holds it. What it authorized has never been fully translated for public record. The partial translation reveals this: the Conclave authorized the unmaking of a specific sequence of events. Not the suppression of records, the actual reversal of a chain of history. They called the process the retrograde seal. The retrograde seal was not metaphor. According to the arcane treatise held in Case 7 of the Vault, it was a specific working, a structured unmaking of causality across a bounded region of time. History could be rewritten at its root. Here is what the archivist believes happened. In the original timeline, the one that was unmade, the Varith Shelf was discovered, settled, and made powerful enough to threaten the Conclave's dominion. So the Conclave erased it from history entirely. The retrograde seal reset 200 years of development. The Varith Shelf was returned to an uninhabited state. Knowledge of its existence was stripped from every living mind. Every record was destroyed, except one. Elindra Voss was inside the retrograde seal's boundary when it was applied. She lost everything: her colleagues, her charts, her expedition records. But her memory didn't erase cleanly. Something in her mind held the shape of what had been. The archivist scholars identified Voss's personal notation system in the map's margins, a shorthand she developed privately, never taught, never published. No forger could have replicated it. The map came from inside her surviving memory. She drew the map between 409 and her death in 412. 3 years of working from memory alone. 3 years of reconstructing a continent she had walked, surveyed, and named, that officially did not yet exist. Consider what the Conclave actually accomplished. They erased a civilization, reset geography, rewrote 2 centuries of development. For 200 years, it worked. The world believed Varith was undiscovered, empty, waiting. But The retrograde seal had a flaw the conclave didn't anticipate. It could erase events. It could erase records. It could erase memory in most minds. What it couldn't erase was a memory that had already been externalized, made physical. The moment Voss committed her memory to parchment, the map became an artifact outside the seal's reach. The seal operated on the living world, on minds, on events, on causality. A finished document was already the past, untouchable. The cruelest detail, the map names settlements, harbors with specific names. When Cale Dorn founded Port Verith in 614, he named it for the shape of its bay. That same name appears on Voss's map, drawn 2 centuries earlier. Memory and future converged on the same word. This is where the mystery becomes a lesson. The conclave's entire architecture of power rested on one assumption: erase the record, erase the knowledge. Voss proved that assumption catastrophically wrong. Every system that has tried to control history has made the same mistake. Ancient Rome practiced damnatio memoriae, the formal erasure of condemned emperors from every inscription, coin, and official record. It failed. Historians reconstructed those emperors from the chisel marks left behind when their names were carved out. Erasure leaves evidence of itself. The mechanism is always the same: memory externalized into a physical form. A document, a carving, a structure becomes independent of the mind that created it. The conclave could unmake the mind. They couldn't unmake the parchment. This is why the archivist exists, not to preserve pleasant history. Any institution can do that. The archivist's mandate is to protect the documents that powerful interests have tried to destroy. The vault is built for exactly this kind of survivor. When the Voss map was formally authenticated in 3rd Age year 71, it didn't merely solve a cartographic mystery. It proved that the conclave had operated a historical erasure. It cracked the foundation of every official account they had ever issued. 47 other documents in the archivist's vault were immediately re-examined. 11 contain anomalies suggesting they too are survivors of the retrograde seal, memories externalized before the erasure could reach them. But here is the question the archivist cannot answer. How many erasures left no survivor? How many Elindra Vosses drew no map? How many memories dissolved without a vessel? The vault can only hold what reached it. It cannot inventory its own absences. Consider Voss's position in those 3 years between 409 and 412. She carried a memory of a world that everyone around her believed had never existed. No corroboration, no allies, only the certainty of her own experience against the silence of a rewritten world. This is not unique to Valetharian. In 1944, Zalman Gradowski, a prisoner forced to work in the Auschwitz crematoria, buried his handwritten manuscripts in the ground beneath the ash. He knew he would likely not survive. He buried the pages anyway. Soviet forces recovered them in 1945. His testimony survived because he externalized it before the institution that wanted him silent could finish its work. The Voss map didn't just solve one mystery. It revealed the conclave's method, and once the method was known, scholars could search for its signature. Documents containing knowledge that predates the events they describe, materials that shouldn't exist, records that survived when all surrounding records vanished. The map taught investigators what to look for. 11 documents in this vault were found because of it. The map is a detection tool, not just a chart. Here is what the Voss map actually teaches. If you want knowledge to outlast the institution trying to erase it, externalize it. Write it down, carve it, bury it. The retrograde seal was the most powerful erasure tool in Valetharian's history, and it failed because one person put ink on parchment. The physical record is not a backup. It is the primary defense. Make yours while you still can.